This is Road to 2027, reaching you live on independent television. I am Lawrence Osifo, your anchor, and it's a great delight to have you join us on the program this beautiful Tuesday evening. We've been trying to make sense out of the road ahead to 2027 general election. We've been seeing coalition. We've seen people defecting from their political parties to other political parties. We've seen the alignment under the platform of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, and we've seen how things have been panning out lately, both in the PDP, the resignation of the former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, resignation of so many political bigwigs in other parties rather than the PDP to the ADC. But today we'll be shifting our attention to one of the persons who bettered the ADC, or one of the persons who is part of the coalition, the person of former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai. The party under which platform he has been all this while has come out to say he has been expelled from the party. That is the SDP, the Social Democratic Party. We'll be looking at the implication of his expulsion from the party. What does it have? What role will it have? Will it affect the new coalition, or there's going to be a different game we're going to be seeing? But it's an abridged version on the show tonight, but we're going to try and make sense out of it all. Tonight, I'll be having a guest, a political analyst, who will be joining me live via Zoom on the program tonight. And I have Christopher Ojekere, a political analyst, joining me tonight. Good evening, Christopher, and good to have you join us on the program Road to 2027.
Hey, good evening. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you for coming on board. Okay. I like asking this question at, as the opening, as a preamble. From your own perspective as a political analyst, don't you think it is too early for us to start talking about 2027 when we are still in 2025? Wouldn't it be the incumbent administration under President Bola Tinubu talking about infrastructural development, providing the basic necessities for Nigerians, rather than talking about 2027 general election, which is the 2 years away by calculation? What's your take on that before we delve into El-Rufai's issue?
Well, the APC and the president has never stopped talking about elections and talking about how to grab power, because they came there with absolutely no plans and policies for the development of you and I.
Okay.
They put plans on security. We don't have any roadmap on how to tackle the insecurity in the north and in the south, for that matter. We don't have any roadmap about how to tackle food insecurity, starvation in our land as we have it today. There are no plans on how to tackle our deplorable, dilapidated roads. And so since they came in, the only thing they have had any semblance of activities around has been how to overthrow legitimately appointed government, so as to twist the strategies they were in place to set their course in 2027. And much of what you see now is a reaction to all of that. So to that extent, it's not too early for the opposition, who have seen the trajectory of this state government, to quickly come together and ensure that having failed so woefully in the first ticket that they've been given from 2025 to from 2023 to 2027, they are not made to repeat that mistake, that error, and that failure in 2027. So that's what you see. The reaction is towards what the government at the center is doing or not doing, as it were.
Okay. Let's now talk about the coalition in itself before we delve into Nasir El-Rufai's suspension. Do you see the coalition as a big force that can unseat the incumbent administration of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu? Does the coalition seem to be, to you, as a political analyst, do you think the coalition have what it takes, whether in terms of the people in the coalition, talking about the likes of the former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the former governor of Anambra State, and the Labour Party 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi, the likes of former two-time governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi, and former Minister of Transportation, and even the likes of Nasir El-Rufai, who is also part of the ADC, whom will be our focus of discussion tonight. Do you see the ADC as a strong force that can unseat the APC?
Because the primary agenda of why Nigerians came together is to ensure that they stop the deleterious activities of the APC. The coalition is a distillation of every person that believes in democracy that is remaining, that have not been conquered by the sweeping megalomaniac attitude of the current president in place. Those who have refused to submit to the idea of a one-party state, those who have refused to admit that all things are normal when they are absolutely abnormal, those who believe that democracy has to be sustained and believe that the economy of Nigeria has been run aground and that we must seek alternative ways to ensure that we reinvigorate and reawaken our moribund economy. These are the people that have formed the coalition. And the brunt of the activities of the present government is on the grassroots, on the masses, on the people of Nigeria. So the coalition itself is an organic response. And that is why you find a lot of grassroots embracing this coalition and providing a very strong base. Most of the people you have named are the apex, but even stronger for this coalition are the people at the bottom rung of the pyramid. I can assure you that the coalition is already a success, and the ruling party knows that. Just by their reaction, you should be able to tell that they are jittery. Since the coalition came in place, Nelson Wike, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, is now a more sober man. And the president has spoken to Nigerians in more times than he had ever spoken to Nigerians before the coalition, since the coalition came. So the coalition is strong and is set to take over government in 2027. In the north, for instance, that decision has been wholly taken. In the south, where the president comes from, there are two pockets of resistance from his voice, but not the action of the people. I went to my local government area today to unveil the ADC there. The attendance in this meeting shocked even myself who have planned it with other friends and other members of the ADC, leaders of the ADC from my local government area. The attendance shocked us. And not the people who could come. There are many others who couldn't come because they didn't work, they went to work, some are in Japan, for so on and so forth. So everywhere the message of the coalition is preached, there's a surge, a massive surge of grassroots response. So the coalition is set, it is already establishing structures in all of the wards and local government areas of the country. States have been taken over, whole states in the north have declared support for the coalition. Structures of the PDP, structures of the APC, structures of the Labour Party in different parts of the country have collapsed themselves and moved into the coalition. And it's become not just a daily thing, but it has now become an hourly routine. But every time you open to your social media, you are seeing one group, formidable groups for that matter, dissolving into the coalition. So the coalition is a rallying point of hope for Nigeria, and it must succeed because this is the party of Nigerians, by Nigerians, and for Nigerians.
Okay, let's now go to the main issue on ground, which is the expulsion of the former Kaduna State Governor, Nasir El-Rufai, who is also one of the pioneers of the coalition. The SDP, the Social Democratic Party, have come out to say he has been expelled from the SDP for anti-party activities, rather. Do you foresee his expulsion from the SDP as a threat to the coalition?
The SDP are tired of being ignored.
Okay.
And I think they must get some attention.
Yeah.
El-Rufai as an individual person, in terms of political capital, reputation, and
second.
And because of his lack of political foresight, has run a cocoon sort of party governance, where it has refused to open up to fresh ideas, where it has refused to have inclusivity as part of its major cardinal point. So because of that, every election where well-meaning Nigerians want to use this, they get frustrated out. It's supposed to be a socialist party that is liberal and then open to Nigerians who want to achieve, their political ambitions or use it as a platform for helping to develop Nigeria. But every time you meet with their leadership, you meet a brick wall. So it's funny when they say they are expelling El-Rufai. If they were a wise party, they would have begged El-Rufai to stay, at least to have some mention, in public discourse. So it is not going to affect the coalition because the coalition knows why they are expelling El-Rufai. El-Rufai has spoken very, very well about this and argued tenaciously that the coalition should use SDP. And the coalition were actually looking towards SDP to use it. But because of the attitude I have said earlier, the attitude of alienation, they refused to open their doors for the coalition to use. Opening your door for the coalition to use was patriotism to Nigeria. Because Nigerians were seeking a platform. We were degenerating into a one-party state, and all other parties that are parties of mention that could be used have been infiltrated and disintegrated by the regime in power, just to destabilize them and make them impossible and ineffective to be able to produce an opposition for democracy, especially for 2027. And SDP were called upon at this critical moment when Nigeria needed a platform, where they needed, patriotism from SDP. SDP failed the entire Nigeria, turned us down. I'm even surprised that they are expanding. I thought El-Rufai had long left there. Because some of us run away with it, took our, political capital and headed for where the coalition was going. So it is laughable that they say they are expelling El-Rufai. It does not diminish anything from El-Rufai. Nor does it affect the coalition. El-Rufai has been not just a member, but a principal driver of this coalition. And the coalition wasn't party-based in terms of we are using a particular party and therefore we go party ways. The coalition was based on people coming from different party backgrounds and then marrying ideology to produce development. And that has been achieved. So El-Rufai shouldn't even be staying in SDP because we already have a party now that has embraced that yearning of Nigeria to find a platform to use to withstand anti-Nigerian tendencies that the APC have continued to show. So I think the SDP I need to even apologize to El-Rufai for going to the press to try to punish his name. El-Rufai is a frontliner in the coalition, and the coalition is, up and running with El-Rufai in the front.
Okay, Chris, we'll have to go on a short break right now. When we return from the break, we will look at the implications of this suspension or expulsion to even the SDP in itself. Because like you said, the SDP seemed to have lost its name sort of, but El-Rufai has given it a name to an extent. But the party coming out to say they've expelled such a big wings in the party because he is part of the coalition. We'll look at some of the implications it's going to have both on the party, the SDP in itself, and some other issues before we call it a wrap. But let's go on a short break. We're going to break on the program. Stay with us. All right, thank you very much for staying with us on the program Road to 2027. Still, we're looking at the expulsion of Nasir El-Rufai from the Social Democratic Party, SDP, by the party. And I still have my guest who has been with me on the program, Christopher Jekere, a political analyst. So, Chris, let's start winding up by looking at the effect this would have in itself on the SDP. Do you foresee his exit or his expulsion rather? Let me not say his exit now because it is the party who is saying they've expelled him as an end to the SDP totally. Like Nigerians will no longer hear of that political party because it seems like the party itself has used their hand to push away one of its former bigwigs. Does it sound like an end to the SDP from your own point of view as a political analyst that you are?
Now this is the thing. If SDP had his house intact and had his game set, level of concession on an argument that, SDP, uh, may have some point in expressing error. The SDP right now is in trouble. They have long expired or suspended their national chairman. The state party chairman of SDP are getting expired and recalled on a daily basis. The party is divided through the middle into two. A lot of factions within the people and within the party that call themselves SDP. All of this are being covered by the presence and personality of El-Rufai. Their chairman, Gabon, is in suspension right now. They have an acting chairman in place with some chairman on some of the states supporting a suspended chairman and not addressing the issue of being accused of embezzlement of money and all of that. And then you have the national secretary in another wing and the organizing secretary in another wing. So you have a house that is already in tatters, and you have somebody in the middle that would have served like the centripetal, pillar. So for you to show up all your tattered image and rally around it to rebuild your party, you are suspending it. So you can see that as a party, they have no agenda to grow. They do what they do every 4 years. And that's the kind of toxic, politics that the APC is encouraging now, where they look for any dissenting voice to the democracy or dissenting voice to organize party that can serve as, a platform for opposition, and then throw money behind it to begin to destroy our democracy further. If not, if APC was not assaulting our democracy, SDP should be a laughing stock right now. I should hide their eyes in shade. So, but they just want to push out in their head that perhaps they are looking to Tinubu to come and use the SDP to begin to attack the APC, and that's why they say they are suspending El-Rufai or expelling El-Rufai. Okay. So El-Rufai is a big loss. I can assure you that from this night, after about a week, they will not mention SDP again for this one because they have nothing in their offer. They have no value addition. So the current political trajectory of trying to create an opposition party, and which of course is the form of democracy. You don't have an opposition party, then you don't have a democracy. So SDP's loss is ADC's gain, and ADC is very happy to go on with El-Rufai, which they have always gone on with, because of the coalition using that platform. So there's nothing at all, that is to the discredit of El-Rufai, but everything to the discredit of SDP. So I thought and I wished that they had, sat down to think through the decision they were going to take. The only reason they are getting mentioned is because they expelled El-Rufai. That's the only reason they are getting mentioned. And after that news peters out, there's no reason to mention them again. You're going to start to talk every day about an unknown chairman, Japan, that was suspended by SDP, or chairman that have done the factional, protest with him against their own constitution. Also, whom are you going to talk about there? So SDP have lost, and I'm very sorry for them. They also have used this opportunity. It's an opportunity in history that comes once in a while. ADC has seized that opportunity, and everywhere you go, like NTN, ADC is not a mention.
Okay.
So ADC left El-Rufai's place for him. El-Rufai was my someone who went on sabbatical. So when you say you are expecting him, El-Rufai just simply goes back to his office and resumes his classes with ADC.
Okay.
And we are moving on without SDP. So I thought SDP would have found a way, having made the earlier mistake of not aligning the position with that platform. They would have still found a way to, append themselves and, even if in the fringes, with the coalition, that will give them credibility. As you see now, PDP's governor had announced, that they were not going to be part of the coalition. But as the coalition starts today, the majority of the coalition, if not one number of the coalition, are PDP members. It was a foolish mistake they made. The coalition is being forward and is being populated by PDP members. A time will come when PDP will find that it is only their neck that is remaining there as PDP members so far, because all their members would have moved into the ADC. So you must be patriotic to Nigeria, and that is what ADC. Okay. ADC is patriotic to Nigeria. It is a reality that Nigerians are yearning for a platform to an opposition against the SDP
Okay.
and ADC.
As we begin to wrap up, 1 minute. Did you see the voice of Esau and the hand of Jacob, or the voice of Jacob and the hand of Esau? What do I mean? Is it more like the SDP is being someone is behind everything happening in terms of the expulsion of Nasir El-Rufai, say the ruling party? Do you see that happening? In less than 1 minute, has called it a wrap.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to when I said the toxic policy that the ADC has, the toxic policies that the ADC has introduced, has introduced. Everybody's seeking that attention. If you are negative, you need to seek that negative attention. And the APC has now become a real victim of gifts. So all you need to do is to float one party and begin to give the incentive due to democracy. APC will throw money there, even when they know that it's going nowhere. So I actually see the voice. In fact, I actually see the voice of Esau and the hand of Esau.
Okay.
In this matter.
The voice of Esau and the hand of Esau. Thank you very much, Christopher Ojekere. I want to thank you for your time, for joining us on the program tonight. We hope we'll continue to monitor the polity and continue to monitor the politics, the politicking and the politricking ahead of 2027. And with time, we'll also invite you more to join us on the program. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right. That's the Sasma package on the show tonight, Road to 2027. We'll be back again, God willing, for another episode come Thursday, by God's grace. And I still remain your uncle, Lawrence Asifo. See you again, and bye for now.